laying in the bed comfortably, just dropping sauce all fuck morning. You feel me? We touching all the issues. We just touching life issues. You feel me? We gonna start off with keep doing you, keep going, keep pushing, man. People in this world, you know what I'm saying? We just gonna talk about. Have you ever knew anybody in this world? They know you smart. People in your personal life, they value how smart you is. They just don't value your opinion. They the type of motherfucker that'll ask you your opinion. You ever had a person ask you your opinion only to dish your opinion, or only to counter your opinion with their rebuttals? Like motherfuckers be really asking you questions, and then they not respecting your answers. Like they don't ask me my opinion if you can't value my opinion. Are you looking for a yes man? Are you looking for me to cater to your emotional state of being or whatever? If you don't have the mental, intellectual capacity to store in your brain or to comprehend and assess what's being said to you, don't ask a question. Not at least you can't I forgot what they say. I think knives made other knives sharper or whatever the saying go. Motherfucker, if you a dull, you have no way of sharpening me. You feel me? Because you're dull. So like a lot of people try to like battle with God, and ain't gonna necessarily, well, that's a wrong analogy. No, they call it box with God. They say your arms too short, you can't box with God. Well, what happened when we were talking about God's child who's presently in your face or presently in your presence in some capacity? You can't even wrestle with them because they're speaking with God's tongue. So you can't even really rebuttal them. And I ain't gonna even say his. When I say they speak with his tongue, they speaking with his intellect. Sometimes God will give you that intellect that you don't even have personally. You're not that smart without him giving you that ability to speak so fluently. And it just sometimes you can go back and listen to yourself. You're like, that was me? I talk like that? Wow, that flowed smooth. That was because God took over. So you just got to know that. Now, let me just go ahead and tell what I was going to do yesterday. And it's funny because now my stomach go to hurt and I got to use the bathroom. But I want to tell the story of the Bible, biblical. I'm going to make a few clerical things. Before I get into the story of the Bible, let me say that about the state that I'm living in real quick. I just want to give a shout out to Georgia for producing a class of women. The I would say the rate or probability of meeting an intellectual woman or a woman that can cater to your emotional state as a man is in Georgia. So all you black men who looking for a quality woman, bring your ass anywhere in Georgia, it's from the south to the north of Georgia, and you're gonna meet some of the most quality women who care about your emotional being as a man and will let you be a man and give you that strengthening, that positive reinforcement all men need from a woman. Because some women, well, not some, all women, all black women in America have gotten to the point of this dominant they feel like they the man. You feel me? It's hard to really meet a woman who's a woman these days. Shit, I would almost beg to say, or dare to say, if you in a relationship with a woman, what's the difference between you in a relationship with a man? Because these bitches don't really know what woman femininity is anymore. So shit, you might be in a traditional heterosexual relationship, but you in a relationship with a woman that think like a man. So you niggas is dating men without even freaking knowing it. So you need a intellectual woman, but you also need a woman who's soft enough. I know y'all want to see my face. I'll probably turn the camera on in a little bit, but right now the message is more important than the actual face. So the message is, I believe that I wanted to just give a shout out to this woman who gave me all the inspiration in Georgia. She's a lady who works on the news, and she graduated from the University of Georgia. She's college educated. She has a breast cancer foundation. I'm talking about the lady is so pure that it just made me look at my own impurities and just cry, and also made me happy because I was like, yo, look at the possibilities. Look how I've gotten myself out of it. And shout out to Florida. I'm a Floridian all day. But I said I've gotten out of this fucking state with these vile ass, overly aggressive ass women. And now I've met a woman who got a sense of purpose and pride that she carry herself with. And I shot my shot at her. She never hollered back at me. And I'm a man, and I grew insecure. I ain't finna. Although I think this lady is the world, I'm not finna stalk nobody. You feel me? And when I shoot my shot, you don't respond back in a certain time frame. I gotta keep going in life. Y'all gotta keep going. We can't sweat nobody. We can admire people and then just leave it at that. So I did that. I shot my shot. She didn't holler back. And then I was picked up by this woman. I say picked up. Somebody discovered me and the great man that I am, and then wanted to learn on up under me. And so I had to take that opportunity. But I wanted to give her first and foremost to say that I would never forget what she birthed inside of me. She birthed a feeling inside of me to know that I'm gonna be all right and that there's good women in this world and not to ever give up. And so she gave me that. So I always want to give her, and she knows she is. I hope she knows she is, that no matter what, I never was gonna give up because she gave me that. I guess that feeling I needed to feel that there are good women in this world. And sometimes a man can serve that purpose. I would hope and I would like to serve that purpose that in the future when a woman meet me and they realize I can't have him, I would like them to realize that they can have someone like me because I'm not the only person. And there's other people like-minded like them who are looking for positivity and connections beyond the physical. So that in itself, I want to thank you for that. And so I couldn't sleep. So shout out to the one person who's still rocking with whoever that one person was that liked it what I said. You feel me? If y'all got any comments, y'all go ahead and comment and I answer that. So this is the story of the Bible. And this is why I lose by one follower. So in the beginning, like you said, I'm gonna tell the story of the Bible, but I'm gonna translate it how I always interpreted it. And why if I was to ever go back to a church, how I would what's he heated on the mallet. I'm finna drop my story of the Bible. If you got any topics you want me to talk about, I'm gonna incorporate that as well. And I'm saying hi to you, so now respond back to me so I know y'all ain't robots. But check it out. This is the story of the Bible. In the Bible, it teaches us the very first chapter was Genesis. And it teaches us of, I guess, the first story we discover in the Bible of Moses floating in this river. So I don't know how many people are aware, but there's only one river that goes north in the entire world. You feel me? Now, can somebody put in the comments what's that river? Hey, he the mallet. Do you know what's the one river that go north in the world? There's only one river that flows north in the whole world. Do you know what river that is? I'm gonna tell you. That river is the Nile River. Every other river flows south. Having said that, now I'm gonna offend a lot of people with my story of the Bible because my story is different. I remember when I was a kid. What's the question you got? He the mallet. I remember when I was a kid how they used to have maps in the back of the Bible, and I used to be like, why the hell they got maps in the back of the Bible? But it never showed the whole map. It just showed like a piece of. It's you say question. It say I'm K. No question. Please, please. What you gotta like? I don't know if that is. I don't know if that is what. Anyway, I'm gonna keep the story rocking. So, bum, goddamn. I'm kind of like wrap it up too. Not wrap it up, but I'm gonna summarize this story as I tell it. So, Moses, let's see, what do you still have mouse in the back? This disgusting, but kind of cool. I know. Oh, I think this is a robot talking. No, I don't even. This shit ain't sensible statements. So, the point is though, Moses is floating in this river. He's found in this river, right? We gotta first establish that Moses is in the Nile River. The river is in Africa. So we understand that the original testament, well, Moses is found, and then Jesus comes along. Jesus is born in this manger, right? And so the question then becomes, okay, he's born in this manger. One thing I think cool about the Bible, it says that Jesus never referenced Mary as mother. You can read the entire Bible and you won't find one time him call his mom mother. He say woman. And he always referenced his mom as woman because he understood that he was a higher being intellectually. Now, if we was to say that a regular person call their mama, don't reference their mama by her name, and he thought he was smarter than her, we'll say he's an asshole. But when it comes to Jesus, hey, we accept that he was his own mama's God. He was her own Lord in a way, I guess, right? Because he's the Lord, and but he has a mom. So we then start to understand that he never referenced her as mom. He always called her woman. because he was understood that I'm a man, and though you gave me birth, I'm supposed to outgrow you intellectually and then lead you because I'm a man. So I believe in my story of the Bible, you can't speak of the Bible without bringing in slavery and bringing in the beginning of slavery. Slavery started off a sexual desire, not off of physical labor desire. It was sexual. Men wanted multiple women and they wanted to dump. It was no laws of the land. So they started using the Nile River as the main transportation route. So they would take these women out of Ethiopia and Egypt, and they bring them up to Egypt to the north, where the Nile River flowed, and all the Middle East, what we currently know as the Middle East, where the Black Sea and all that is. So they would they would bring these women up to the through the Nile River. They would castrate the men, meaning cut these big black dicks off. Because by this time, oh, first I got to go back in time real quick. Let's go back to leprosy. If you ever read the Bible, you know about leprosy. We used to send these kids that we used to have off into the mountains, the North Caucasus Mountains. I'm gonna make all this shit connect. We used to send our kids on the Nile River to the Caucasus Mountains. I'm gonna make this shit start making sense. You got a part where Europe connects with Asia. They call it Eurasia. You feel me? That's when Europe goes into Asia. And in that, they got the Caucasus Mountains. And we was sending our kids there from Africa because they was blonde hair and blue eyes. See, we was having albino kids, but we was some dumbass humans. We learning about being humans. So we don't know what an albino is. We just know we blacker than the bitch in the land of the sun. And motherfucker, we having these blonde hair, blue eye fucking babies. Hey, something is wrong with him. But I ain't finna kill my kid. And the law of the land was to kill the kid. I'ma raise him in secret till he big enough to take care of himself, and I'ma send him to these Caucasus Mountains where I've been hearing everybody been sending their kids. Well, over and over, we sending all these albinos, blonde hair, blue eye to these Caucasus Mountains. Oh yeah, y'all know I was going with it. Y'all had to rise up. And now here comes biology into play. When you live in colder weather, it's hard for for instance, right? Africa, if you look at the African facial features, they got predominant noses that is wide. The nostrils is real wide. Well, why is the nostril so wide? Well, Africa hot as hell. When you in hot climate, your brain needs oxygen at all times. So you trying to cool your brain down, that nostril expands. It gets bigger because it's pulling in so much air, trying to cool that hot brain down in that hot weather. Versus if you're in cold weather, your nostril is gonna thin because you don't want all that cold weather giving you brain freeze. So your body is adapting and your nostrils grow thin. Your hair grows more coarse in the cold weather. So your hair grows faster because your hair is originally supposed to protect you from extreme heat and from extreme cold. So that's why you grow hair in the first place. Well, when you're in cold weather, your hair becomes more coarse. Your nose becomes thinner. So imagine these Africans sending these blonde hair, blue eyed, fat nosed kids with blue eyes up into this cold weather for years and years and years, and now their hair grows more coarse, their nose grows more thin, but they're still albino and they keep having sex with each other over and over. Sort of like how we have Hispanics. All Hispanics are mulatto. They all are mixed race. And so they have sex over and over and over and over until it's almost like that permanent tan. And so back to the point. We have these kids, they grow up in the Caucasus Mountains, and then they develop their own civilization. Then we have the Kyrgyzstans and the Russias and the current day Chinas and stuff like that. And so we then start to get an understanding of other humans becoming into civilization. So by the time they start developing their own world, they start kidnapping these women out of Africa for sex slaves. And so they're slaving these women. This is around, if you want a time frame, this is around the 900 year man. So man has been around for 900 years in existence at this time. So Jesus comes along. Let's tell the story of Jesus. Jesus, I believe, the entire story of Jesus was about him trying to free his people from slavery bondage. So the bondage started off, like I said, is these men wanting 9 wives, and it's no physical fucking way you could get 9 fucking wives because it ain't no 9 women born for every man. So some man gonna be short of a wife. right? And out of those 9 women, somebody not gonna be a willing participant. I ain't never met a nigga that good in his game where he can have 3 women in love with him or 4 women at one time. You could probably have 2 women in love with you. That's why you got these thruples and shit like that. But to have 9 women in love with you at the same time, it's impossible. So only way it's possible to keep these 9 women is through actual slavery. And so it started with sex slaves. They were slaving these women, and then they realized, damn, this shit works. So then they changed from sex slaves to labor. They was like, well, shit, if I can get the sex out you, I'm gonna make this shit a labor efficient. So they changed it to labor. Who got involved? Portugal got involved. France got involved. Spain got involved. The UK in a transcontinental slave trade. That's what they call it, transcontinental slave trade, African diaspora. In that African diaspora, the 4 biggest exploiters of slavery in the history of mankind, and it's literally shaped the world. Portugal, if you want to know how Portugal shaped it, look at Brazil. The motherfuckers speak Portuguese. Brazil has more Africans than actual United States of America. Portugal was dealing slaves, you best believe, like a mug. Spain, every damn country in the world that speaks Spanish has Africans, black. That's why I'm always quick to get on a black Hispanic ass, because I quit to let them know that Hispanic isn't a race. It's so many stupid people that think Hispanic is a race. No, motherfucker, it's a culture. Hispanic, being Hispanic is the same thing being a hip hop head. It's a culture. You don't have to be black to be a hip hop head. It's a culture. That's why they say the culture. So fucking, you don't have to be white to be Hispanic. You don't have to be black to be Hispanic. You don't have to be mulatto mixed to be Hispanic. You could be a full European looking ass white man with blonde hair and blue eyes and still speak Spanish. You could, just like Pitbull. If you looked at the rapper Pitbull and you didn't never hear him rap, you would thought he was just a straight up white guy. And then you could be a whole Celia Cruz, black big ass booty, and speak Spanish all fucking day. So this is it's a so if you look at the slave exporters and how it shaped the world, you look at the Spaniards, the Spain motherfucking sent niggas all over the world to build they fucking cities and they places that they dominated. Fucking the United Kingdom, the Jamaicans. I used to argue with Jamaicans who were like, I never was a slave. I'm not a Yankee. Motherfucker, you was a slave, right? Where the fuck you was at, nigga? That's where you was at. Trinidad, same shit. Barbados, all that. Fucking Belize is a bunch of niggas that was fucking being transferred by the Spaniards to fucking till these lands. The UK, United K, motherfucker, South Africa. They was literally in Africa. They said, fuck just taking these niggas all across the world. Bitch, we stopping in we in you niggas' backyard. We domesticate you niggas on your land. We not taking you, kidnapping you, bringing you back to a land far, far away and raping you and abusing you and domestic. No, nigga, we gonna domesticate you niggas right in your own land and put some apartheid on you niggas' ass. And then we gonna motherfucking come down here to Australia and we gonna kill all these niggas. And the ones we don't kill, we gonna make these niggas get down too. They call them aboriginals. But let me stay focused with the story of the Bible. I only give you this history to say that in the story of the Bible, you have Jesus trying to free his people. They tell you, let my people go. And they say he was freeing them for No, I'm freeing them for, it was a race thing. We got to first, in order for us to start the beginning of understanding Jesus, we got to first understand he was black. We got to first understand it was a black cause that he was for. I always been against churches because churches don't like to incorporate race. That's why I always find it hard to get into a church. Motherfucker, let's bring this race in. It is very important that we establish what my Jesus is. If we're going to call him my God and my Lord and he runs my life and he is the savior, the salvation of everything I got going, well, guess what? I need a little, what they call it, substance. I need to know, is he damn black or white? This is a very, if I told you a story about me going to the club and I had some bad bitches, you going to want the details. You going to want to know, was she thick? Did she have big booty? Was she a broke bitch? Was she black, white? These things matter. Descriptions matter. Well, description matters when you're telling me the story of the Bible. I need to know that this place, if these people, for instance, Moses had a brother named Aaron. Aaron's wife was from Ethiopia. So I have to assume Aaron is black because his wife is from Ethiopia. You ain't finna tell me no damn white man was living in no fucking Ethiopia, the 800-year man, 700-year man. So fucking this black Ethiopian woman is with this black man named Aaron, and the most powerful man before Jesus probably was more powerful than Jesus because this nigga parted the whole fucking sea with a staff. This nigga was black, guaranteed black, nigga black, black black. He was black like the nigga that was on the wall with Good Times when Michael brought that picture of that black Jesus with the red eyes and shit. That's how black he was. So I say when you put that context in, you start to learn. And Fred Sanford and Son, and that's an old ass show. They gave the game up one time on a TV show when Sanford wanted to start a church in his house, and he was like, "I want to start a church." He like, "They'll give me government money. I ain't got to pay no taxes on that." He was trying to get out of paying taxes on his house. So they was giving up the game in the 70s. Norman Lear was giving y'all the game. And he was like, and so Lamont went to do the research on it. It was called a five, I don't know the name of the form that he needed, but he was like, it's rules and stipulations. You can only speak on what they allow you to speak on. You can't never, like, if you get a church, don't think you finna get a church and you get to go just tell the truth to your damn people and you just finna free their minds. No, nigga, it's you gotta follow a script. You break script, you lose that funding. That's just as simple as that. You lose all them tax credits that you get and tax write-offs that you get when you break that script. You got to stick to that script. So if you ever wonder why your church ain't never brought in regular like day issues, the everyday, because church get boring after a while because it's like, yo, we keep talking about a book for 400 years. Let's apply this book to what we going on right now. And they never do it. They keep it old school because the minute the church go to start talk about politics and talk about how you could better your life or how you could save money and like really shit that'll really help your real life, that's the minute they lose government funding, and that's the minute then they ain't making no damn money. So you gotta always know they never gonna give you that full truth because bitch they get government funds about it. The people that's gonna give you that full truth is that pastor who ain't got no congregation, who got a microphone standing on the corner and everybody keep passing him and shit. That's the one who can't get a church because he's speaking that real shit. The motherfucker who gotta preach for numbers and keep that wool over your head. I don't know if y'all ever seen that movie called it's an actor. He played in a movie called Red Tails. He put his own money up to make his own movie about Nat Turner. And they used to bring him to the slaves to preach to the slaves, right? Because the slaves just got raped or something, just got beat. And he got to come and put hope in them. So he'll come pray for them. And he'll be like, your master beat you because he love you. Your master do this, your master do that. See, it got to the point when they realized that if we can't control the pastor, then we can't control these niggas. We gotta first control the pastor. If we control the pastor, we control their heart and their desire because they following their pastor like they fill in for Jesus. So once they control what the pastor get to say, then okay, well shit, I can make it look like these men who leading you and keeping you blind, who will not tell you how to apply that Bible to your real life. He will not tell you how you can apply that Bible and make it make sense for your life. But if he start teaching you that, then he lose government finance. So now let me carry when I get back to my Bible, because I'm gonna say shit that don't edify your ear probably, but it'll edify somebody. And so with that said, well, part of the Bible, y'all been enslaving my people all over the land. He goes to the Roman Catholic Church, and he's telling them, he said, yo, Pope Nicholas was a guy who said that Pope Nicholas said some very offensive shit once upon a time. Y'all could do y'all research on Pope Nicholas, but Pope Nicholas, he compared black people to pit bulls. And it's funny because I heard this in a movie before too. They copied this in a movie. He said black people are fierce and they're gentle. He said if that motherfucker turned against you, he could be deadly. But if you strike fear into him, that motherfucker the most loyal friend you will ever have and will kill for you. Just like a pit bull. You fucking depend on how you treat that pit. It's your best friend or your worst enemy. And this is what a pope of the Roman Catholic Church said. So when Jesus is going into these churches and he's preaching, and they're saying, he's saying, man, y'all such superstitious people. Y'all got so many different gods when there's only one God. And so they like, yo, take that back. Claim to be our God. And so the battle with him was, we want you to say you're the king of the Jews, you're us. And so then comes the question, now I know I'm gonna lose my tooth when I get to this. Who are Semites? Because a lot of times in current society, we hear anti-Semitic. But who are the Semites? And so Jesus' argument was, we the Semites. We started this shit. And they're like, no, 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 no. We're more powerful. We have a more better economy structurally around the world. I lost one, but I got one still. They're like, no, we're more established. If you say you're the king of the Jews and we're the Jews, and you say you establish us as the chosen people, then we'll protect you. But his pride was like, nah, man, these are the people, these are who I'm fighting for. Okay, well, nigga, you could die right in front of these niggas. And that's what they did. And so he was then hung. And then now we go into how who get to tell history. It go back to the old saying, his story. Whoever wins the battle, who gets to tell it. If me and you go into a room, one of us come out alive, you get to tell what the fuck happened, how be it true or fake. So that's what ended up happening. And then it was rerouted to, okay, to a religious thing when I believe the story of Jesus Christ involves a story of a man fighting for his particular sect of people. He was fighting against slavery. He was fighting against sexual slavery and labor slavery. And he was killed. If you line up that time frame of when Jesus was supposed to walk the earth, it was around the time when the Western Hemisphere first started to come into play, and all the slaves started getting transported from Portugal into Brazil. From you ever never wondered why people in Senegal speak French? Senegal is in Africa. Why in the hell is a Senegal speaking French? Why do we have countries in Africa that speak Spanish? Like I said, the biggest exporters of slaves was Spain, Portugal, UK, and America. If you look at the biggest successful countries after that, it's just the same blueprint of the big founding four countries. Like we got the founding fathers, the founding four countries, they repopulate all over the world. A lot of the most biggest languages is Spanish, English, Portuguese, and French. Because these are the people that went and colonized the whole world. We're Africans. They took the Africans and they put them in all these other little countries, and they taught the people, they taught the local Indians, Arawaks, or whatever you want to give them the name. They taught the natives of that land that language. And the natives of that land learned that language and learned that culture. And so this happened repeatedly over and over and over to where we have other languages, but those are the four primary places that dominated the world. And so, and then you got China. China was always China. China didn't have to go. China, if you notice one thing about China, and I never noticed that, y'all correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but China, if they did any colonizing, they kept it within their land. They didn't try to go around the globe. That's why you see Chinese everywhere, but you don't see a red Chinese person or a dark-skinned Chinese person like that, because Chinese just kept their shit right where they was at. Versus other places they wanted to explore and dominate and be big world leaders. So they took these people and they planted them everywhere. And they said, you grow here, and that's how it went. You did. But I think that one tune-in person because that concludes my really story of the Bible. And I just appreciate that one person who stayed in lockdown with me, because one thing I'm gonna learn about this internet shit is every message ain't for everybody. And they'll stick with you as long as you saying some shit that caters to their ears. The minute you say something adverse to that, they just like, and I be somewhat getting offended, which I should never get offended. But I appreciate that one person who is in this room stayed with me, whether you against me or not, and you just want to know what the hell I'm talking about. I appreciate that. I'm finna chill out now and get my day started. Y'all have a good one. All right, how this shit end? This bitch act like it